Perfect. I am getting some yeses. Awesome. So thank you once again for joining us today. Please allow me to introduce you all to our guest speaker for today, Mr. Sahil Saini. Sahil is a seasoned product leader with nearly a decade of experience into product management, and he's currently working as a senior global product manager at the OLX Group. He has previously worked with companies like FreeCharge, Square Yards, Office, and Tata Group. He is also an alumnus of IIFT. So thank you once again, Sahil, for sparing some time to join us today from your vacation. We're delighted to have you on board with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prerna. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you as well as Great Learning for giving me this opportunity to connect with the aspiring product managers. And I'm really looking forward for this chat today.
Thank you so much, Sahil. So Sahil, before we start the session, let me give the audience an idea on how we've planned today's session. So for all the folks who are present with us today, in the first 20-25 minutes, we'll hear from Sahil about his journey as a product manager and what are his roles and responsibilities and how does a day look like for him working into this domain. And in the remaining 30-35 minutes, we'll open the floor for Q&A round where you all can ask your questions to Sahil. And we also have Anmol from the admissions office here in this session to help us with very program-specific queries that you might have related to fees, batch, admissions process, etc. So without any further ado, I think Sahil, let's get into it. So why don't you start by telling us about your background a little bit?
Sure, Prerna. So Prerna, thanks for that lovely introduction. And you have already highlighted the key achievements there. So guys, first of all, I'm really excited to be conducting this session as well as sharing my thoughts with you guys. So from my background perspective, I am a seasoned product manager and I worked across companies in the B2C as well as B2B domain. In my most recent role, I'm working as a senior product manager for OLX Autos business vertical for OLX Group. And therein I'm working in the buyers team and I am actually helping OLX Autos build the entire online checkout experience for buyers of pre-owned cars to purchase their cars online from the application as well as the web platform. So it's a quite an exciting role for me, as well as quite challenging role in the sense that I have to build the product as well as the platform for more than 10 markets globally, which includes India, Indonesia, Mexico, Chile, Turkey, Canada, and few other markets. Before this role of mine, I was actually working as a senior product manager in FreeCharge, a fintech company, wherein I was instrumental in launching from scratch the flagship buy now pay later product for FreeCharge called FreeCharge Pay Later. I thoroughly enjoyed my stint there. I scaled the product also, as well as apart from launching from scratch a pure consumer facing product, I also help manage the lending platform or the entire backend system, which powers not only the pay later product, but any flavor of the lending product. Before my stint in FreeCharge, I worked with PropTech companies, primarily Square Yards and Office, and helped build multiple revenue-facing products for both Office as well as Square Yards. So I would say it's a mix of B2C and B2B experience for me, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my journey so far as a product leader.
Sounds very interesting, Sahil. Actually, you've done quite a mix of everything. That's amazing to hear. So, Sahil, currently at your role, how does a day look like for you? As in, how do you plan your day and how do you plan your months? What kind of activities do you get into? What kind of stakeholders do you have to deal with?
Sure. So see, currently my product at OLX is about to get into development. So it's going to be a little more hectic for me, but I'll just give you a brief snapshot of how my day look like in OLX. So I'd start my day by analyzing the funnel reports and analytics reports for the company, for the B2C segment, market-wise, company-wise, analyze the funnels, basically get some understanding of what's happening, what's working, what's not working. And I think that is very important for a product manager to start its or his or her day by looking into the analytics report or MIS reports for the products they manage primarily, but also it's very advisable to have a 360-degree view understanding of what are the key metrics for an org level or an organization looking like. Then I generally have a few stand-up meetings with my squad. So at OLX, we follow a squad or a pod-based metrics system, wherein for each team, there are representatives from engineering, both backend and front-end QA, product manager, representatives from design team, analytics team, assigned to a particular pod, which helps us in being more efficient. So I generally have my stand-up meetings in the earlier part of the day. Post that, I do what I called as deep work or the best 1 hour of my product manager's day, which is basically to deep dive into any exciting problem which is exciting for me to solve for. Thinking about the problem, understanding competition, doing some market research, understanding various products in the market, trying to figure out whether whether I can conceptualize a functionality at OLX which could add value. During a certain week, for time of the week, I also have my one-on-ones with various other stakeholders, which help me to get some more understanding, as well as, so most of these stakeholders are across engineering, analytics, design, top management, right? If the project is in the initial design phase or the research phase, I have discussions with design team as well as the research team, help them work on, we collectively work on a user research problem. And if there is any kind of queries which are needed to be answered by the engineering team or the stakeholders, then also I basically help them out. So I would say it's generally a hectic day for me.
It's quite interesting, actually. So, before moving into further questions, I'd like to know that how did you decide on pursuing a career in product management? What led you into making that final decision after you
So yeah, so I think great question, Prerna. So I will
did
actually
your program in IIFT?
Yeah. So during the last semester, actually, I got to know about product management through a friend of mine who was entering into this field, and so I thought that why shouldn't I just also explore what this whole terminology is all about, and I started reading about it, and I actually got hooked to it. And I think the plethora of skill sets required for a product manager to do his job, the kind of understanding which is needed for a product manager, in any company to succeed, as well as the impact which his work can actually result in, are the key major drivers for me to look for a product manager career. And I'm glad that I made that choice at that time, that I should deep dive more into this field, learn more about it, build my skills around it, do some courses, gain a network, and get a product job. And I think the best part of my job, or I would say about product management, is the ability to solve problems. And that is something which always fascinates me. So I think those were the reasons which led me towards shift to product career. Yeah.
Awesome. Very interesting, Sahil. Very interesting. So what kind of challenges do you I mean, you had to face while developing products or maybe taking them to market, if at all any you did? I'm sure that you must have faced some difficulties while maybe you were thinking of creating a product and working with different people.
Sure, Prerna. So I think the challenges are everyday part of any product guy. And the biggest challenge in any organization, especially if it is a large organization, is always about getting the stakeholder buy-in, about prioritization, about getting resources for your product. And that's why, hypothesis, user research, hypothesis validation, idea validation before directly going to development is very important. Other than that, I feel that the stakeholder management is a very important aspect as well as a challenge for product managers. I mean, I don't think any other work profile involves managing stakeholders that in that large number as a product guy. I mean, you have to manage, and work very closely with engineering, with sales, with finance, with analytics, with legal, with top management. I mean, and especially and also if you are a fintech PM, then the stakeholders actually increases to risk policy, collections. So managing stakeholder expectations is very important. You will also, I think a product manager will also feel or face challenge in terms of, getting a lot of, I would say, feature request. Some of the requests would directly come from CEO, would come from VP business, and it's very difficult to, say no to them. So how do you actually, tackle all those scenarios? And I think that is also quite challenging. And lastly, as I even highlighted in the beginning, prioritization. So once you have got the management buy-in, everybody is aligned, you have also validated your idea, and you are actually going into the development phase, then also, you have to prioritize and keep on prioritizing. You can, let's say, sketch out your MVP, but, it's all about work and, your timelines, and any other major issue can prop up. So you always have to prioritize and lay emphasis on prioritization. I guess those are the biggest challenges.
Perfect. Thank you for that answer, Sahil. Makes a lot of sense, actually. So, Sahil, what are the tools that you actually work on most regularly?
Yeah. So, Prerna, I actually use a lot of tools, and it all depends upon the area of work. So, I would say that for brainstorming, for ideation, I use Miro. It's a great whiteboarding tool, a great tool for collaboration. For any wireframing, I use Balsamiq, again, a very great intuitive tool. For high-level road mapping, I use tools like Asana. For project management, I'm sure that everybody uses, Jira, and Jira has become the bread and butter of a product manager. For analytics, I think in multiple companies, I've used multiple tools. I started with Google Analytics. In Freecharge, we used to use Omniture a lot. You have to deep dive into multiple Tableau reports as well. Then sometimes I have also used, I would say, niche analytics tools like Mixpanel, Amplitude. And for prototyping, you work with designers, so you need to get some hands-on on InVision and Zeppelin. So I guess these are the tools which actually cover the entire spectrum of various activities which are done by a product manager.
Awesome, Sahil. I think since you mentioned this would actually be very useful to our participants today who are into this industry. So they would also know that these are the kind of tools that they'll have to work on in this domain. So Sahil, my next question to you is that what excites you most about this domain? And I know that you spoke about one of the things that you like about it is solving problems. What else, Sahil?
Sure. So Prerna, I think solving problems is something which always excites me. And I think, uh, product management also requires you to be curious enough, right? You have to be curious about how things work. How can your idea fit into the existing scheme of things, or how can your idea basically help in the company to grow revenues? So you always have to be curious enough. The other things which excites me about the role is as I think this is also I mentioned earlier, is the entire spectrum of stakeholder management which is required. I mean, you literally have to have a 360-degree vision of the complete organization. Uh, I actually believe that stakeholder management is a challenge as well as something which if you get our hands on it, it's a very important skill to have. And these are the aspects which actually aspires me towards product management. And finally, I feel that the satisfaction which you get by seeing the impact of your product, of your feature, right? It can be across customer satisfaction, improving customer experience, or a company goal or objective, business objective, that is tremendous. So I guess these are the three reasons which definitely are the top three reasons for me towards product management. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Sahil. It was quite an honest answer, and I could feel that it came straight from your heart. So thank you for that. So, Sahil, what do you think? Where do you see this industry going in the next 5-10 years? Do you think there is growth happening in terms of job openings, and is it a good time for people to actually start their careers in product management?
Sure. So Prerna, I do get a lot of questions from a lot of aspirants, both fresh graduates as well as people even having 10 years of experience, saying me that is it late to get into product management? I my only answer to them is that it's never late to get into product management, and this time which we are living is currently is actually the best time to be into product management. You will never get the opportunities which you are getting in product management. I myself feel that 10 years ago, getting multiple job offers for a product guy was quite difficult, but it's a new norm now, right? Everybody is having multiple product job offers, a lot of opportunities which are opening up. Product roles, I would say there are plenty of open roles. But having said that, it's companies are also taking a lot of time in actually closing a role. So this is actually one of the attribute for a product role. I mean, I have known roles open in some companies for more than 6 months, and it's always about finding the right candidate. And I think the thanks to COVID, the kind of digital adoption which has happened, every industry is actually turning into a tech industry, incorporating some aspect of tech, incorporating some aspects of productization. And I have never seen the number of open roles in product management which currently are in my entire career.
You're absolutely right, Sahil. I think COVID has actually changed situation for a lot of industries, and product management is definitely one of them. I mean, we also do see that the kind of openings that our companies have these days, it's tremendous. And the kind of skilled professionals that are there to meet these skill sets and these requirements are very few actually. So there is definitely a demand and supply sort of a gap in terms of filling these positions. So I completely agree with you there. So Sahil, do you think pursuing a course in product management can help professionals to be more confident and actually be those skilled professionals who can fill this industry gap that is there?
Great question, Prerna. So Prerna, when I started my journey towards product management, actually learning towards product management, what I struggled the most was that there was no course in product management or no concise and structured way of learning product management. So I had to actually invest a lot of time, resources in getting a structured learning path for product management. And I think definitely it is very important and very advantage for any product management aspirant to undergo a structured course. And but I also feel that the course should be well comprehensive enough, as well as also have some sort of projects involved into it, which basically provides the opportunity for the aspirants to actually work and solve on a real life problem, right? So I think that is quite important for the candidates. Having said that, I also truly believe that product management is a job profile which involves lifelong learning, right? It is very important for you to do a course and a structured way of learning, but things are evolving each and every day. So you have to keep on learning, reading books, blogs. But I'll also advise the aspirants to not initially start with reading into multiple sources, because once you have done a course, it provides you a solid basic understanding of the various aspects of product management. And then based on your area of interest, let's say if you're interested in fintech product management, you can deep dive into it, right? So I would say that those will be like my thoughts on this aspect.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Sahil. Very insightful, actually. So I think last but not the least, I have just one more question for you. So would you like to give our audience any piece of advice as to they should learn or know any in-demand skills or any tools that will be helpful for them?
Yeah, sure. So see, I feel that firstly, this is something again which I have said earlier also, that my only advice or for the product aspiring product managers is to be, always be in a learning mode. Always keep on learning, keep on upgrading their skills. That is very important. And with respect to tools, I guess there are multiple tools which you can use. But the idea is that you should not be too much dependent on fussy about the tool in general, but you should know the insights which that tool provides you and how you can benefit from it. For example, for analyzing data and product analytics, you can use any tool like Google Analytics or Amplitude or Mixpanel. But how do you benefit from the insights which you get from that tool is more important than learning the tool itself. I mean, as a product guy, generally it's very important for you to have a understanding of the tool. But then in companies, you also have analytics folks which can help you in which can basically help you in using this tool or give you the required data points which are required, right? But the key ask is that as a product guy, how do you use that data as well as the insights to make decisions and make a better impact? Having said that, I think a lot of focus is on hard skills with respect to a product management, learning path. But I truly believe that soft skills are, if not less, I would say equally important. And once you grow in your product career, actually more important than the hard skills. And if I speak about soft skills, stakeholder management and communication are the two top soft skills which I feel are very important for any product manager. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sahil. I'm sure that this will be helpful to a lot of people who are attending our session today. So with this, now I would like to open the floor for questions and answers. And everyone, you can please type in your questions in the questions window. We'll make sure that we pick all of your questions. So I'll give you all 2-3 minutes to type in your questions. Thank you. would request the audience once again to make the most of this opportunity and ask anything that you would like to ask to Sahil. We still have time left. So Sahil, some questions have started pouring in, so I'll start picking one by one. So Devesh has asked that, is it necessary for product managers to know programming languages?
So Devesh, my clear answer is that no, it is not required for product managers to code and even for the fact to know programming languages. But having said that, I feel that sometimes the product managers have to actually help their engineers with conceptualizing the engineering solution as well. And they are actually participants in the same. And the engineering, I would not say the engineering, but the basic logic which is required for doing any particular task. Now, by logic, I mean, let's say if the engineer has to program, right? But he basically needs the help of product manager to uh, uh, basically agree on a particular business logic according to which, or a business logic according to which he has to do the coding, right? So that is very important. And secondly, what I feel is that a basic understanding of technology, how technology works, how products works, how does front end speaks to back end, is very important for a product manager to know the role of different APIs, and primarily system design, how different systems work with each other. See, what happens in organization is that you don't work, I would say, in completely isolated manner. Your product has dependencies and integration with multiple other products as well as backend platforms. So until and unless you have a broad understanding of how different systems work, how different systems speaks to each other, then it become it become easier for you to do justice to your role. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Sahil. Devesh, do let us know if that meets your expectations. So, okay, Devesh has asked one more question, that what's the difference between product manager and product strategy manager? Is there a difference at all, Sahil?
So, see, Devesh, a lot of terminologies are in the industry. And this role actually depends upon organization to organization, right? Now, typically, we, use the term product managers as the guys who are responsible for the strategy as well as the execution, right? What happens in certain organizations are that there are multiple product managers. There are few consumer facing product managers who are actually part of strategy formulation, strategy discovery, which is basically known as product discovery also, as well as testing. So what happens is that in these organizations, these product managers are actually known as only PMs, or sometimes product strategy managers, or even I have heard terms like consumer facing PMs, right? And then there are tech PMs or technology PMs in the same company who actually get the work done with the engineering team, right? So this consumer facing PM or the product strategy PM, he basically helps in the broad understanding of the requirements from a customer or a user perspective, and then he works closely with the tech PM, who basically helps in get or is responsible for the technical conceptualization or of the solution, as well as getting the solution delivered with the help of engineering team. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Sahil. Sahil, the next question is from Ankit, that is product manager also responsible for sales of a particular product he or she is looking after? Does that happen often?
So see, again, what happens in companies is that it's always a shared KRA or a shared numbers, I would say, with the business team, the sales team, and the product team, right? And definitely, product guys do have target expectations in terms of number of, let's say, if the business goal is number of, let's say, subscriptions sold, right? Now, the same KRA would also be shared between the sales team, the growth marketing team, as well as the product team. You cannot say as a product guy that, I won't be responsible for the actual numbers, right? And I think it's the responsibility of the product guy also to make sure that the business objectives are being met. And I think having a focus on the end numbers also helps you in optimizing your funnels for better conversions, right? So let's say if we take the example of which I spoke about the number of subscription packets sold or number of subscriptions sold. Now, if I want to maximize this, how can I, without hampering the customer experience, optimize the funnel of my product so that I reach my goal? So these are also actually the work which is undertaken by a product guy also. Yeah.
Very well answered, Sahil. Thank you for that. And let us know, Ankit, if you have any further queries. So the next one is from, wow, we have plenty of questions actually, interesting. So there is one from Ramesh that what kind of career path can one expect with an experience of less than 3 years in any domain and who's aspiring to transition to product management?
So I think you can, it again depends upon the experience which you have. If you have an experience which is a mix of, let's say, you have a tech experience or some kind of experience, which in turn is used in any product company, whether it's like, as I said, engineering role or analytics role, then firstly, I then feel that it's easier to move into a product role. But having said that, having 3 years of experience, you can actually aim for a entry level APM as well as in good organization, as well as a direct PM role in startups as well. Yep.
Thanks, Sahil. Sahil, the next one is from Vijay, and he is from a non-computer science background. That how important is it to know tech stack, and how much does it impact one's chances of progressing or landing a job?
Yeah, so see, I actually also highlighted this in one of my earlier questions also. So see, for a product guy, my personal experiences, and as I have seen people who have moved up the ladder into product leadership role, it's important to know how technology works, right? It's I'm not saying that you have to learn programming language, you have to code, but how does product works? How does systems work? How does systems speak to each other? Right? This is very important, right? How does the UI or the front end part of your product would be powered by the backend systems, right? That is very important. And see, for an entry level role, APM or a PM role, I would say, this doesn't actually matters a lot. But once you move up the ladder to senior product roles, having a tech understanding is very important skill set into your, I would say, into your product skills. But I also feel that sometimes people are very much scared of technology, and so I've people asking me that how can they they don't have a background. How can they learn technology? I say I'm sure that there are courses available, books available for you to learn technology from a product manager's point of view, not from a coder's point of view, right? So I think that is important. Yep.
Okay, thanks for that, Sahil. Do let us know, Vijay, if that answers your query. So the next one is from Ashwin, and it's quite a different one. That what difference a product manager makes that a product owner cannot? Are these ideally, Sahil, are these different roles? What do you have to say about this?
Sure. So see, what happens is that as I said, that the role depends completely on company to company. In some companies or startups where there is generally resource crunch, a product manager is the single person who's responsible for product strategy, program management, product ownership, consumer-facing product. It's like end-to-end role, right? And then there are generally engineering teams, and your counterpart is engineering manager, and you have to work very closely with him. In some large-scale organizations, what happens is that there's also a role of product owner. The product owner is basically a person who is actually more towards agile management, agile product management, who is basically, I would say, main focus is towards the delivery part of the things as well as the execution part of the things. And less focus is on the strategy part. So generally what happens in these companies is whether there will be a product strategy manager or a product manager who works closely with the product owner, or the product owner gets the requirement directly from the business team, and he has his main, I would say, goal is to get the requirement executed with the help of the engineering team. Yeah.
Thanks, Sahil. Ashwin, do let us know if that addresses your query. The next one is from Rakesh, that does prior project management experience come handy in product management? I'm sure it does, but Sahil, would you like to add anything to it?
Yeah, definitely. See, project management is one of the, I would say, area of work which generally product manager do, but this is not the most important skill for a product manager to possess. It generally do, it's always good to have project management skill sets, and especially in large companies wherein, it's actually a great skill set to have, because you have to get your work done and get aligned with multiple stakeholders across product and engineering as well, right? But again, I guess this is again something which spoke earlier also. The ability to understand the problems of your customer. Now, by customer, I not only specify or refer to end-to-end customer. Customer can be, like for example, for an internal PM, it can be an internal company stakeholder. For a B2B PM, it can be a corporate or different companies. So the biggest skill set is, which basically recruiter or the hiring managers look for in product managers or aspirants of product managers, is their ability to actually solve an unstructured problem, right? With focus on customers as well as business. Yeah.
Very well explained, Sahil. Thank you for that. Rakesh, do let us know if you have any further queries. So the next question is from Vivek, that I have studied a course into product management, but not able to connect with real life problems like case studies and all. So how to do that and how to develop a logic to solve problems?
Sure. So I think there, are multiple frameworks which are there, and I'm sure that in this course also of Great Learning, you will be taught multiple frameworks of problem solving. of solving case studies, solving product interview questions, product design questions, estimation questions. I think something which is currently coming to my mind is the circles method of Lewis Lin, who is the author of the bestseller book or the Bible for product management interview preparation. The book's name is Decode and Conquer. So you can refer to that.
Thank you for that, Sahil. The next question is from Ankan, that can sales and marketing professionals become product managers? Also, can cross-functional experience candidates, can transition into product management? For example, if someone has a few years into logistics and some into finance and some into operations, would he or she be considered for a PM role at interviews? Does that often happen with you, Sahil? Okay.
I have seen candidates, who have done bachelor's in psychology from DU getting into Google and Facebook into product roles. So as I said that, again, psychology is something which is closely related to consumer behavior, customer behavior, and these guys are actually very good at that. So this is one of the most, as I said, one of the most important skill set to possess, right? Similarly, I've seen folks from sales, marketing, logistics, operations, all move towards product management. Guys, also please understand that there are product managers who are working on logistic products, on supply chain products, on financial products, right? So having domain knowledge is actually a plus point for you, right? If I am a hiring manager, I will always, and I have to look for a manager for my logistics product. Let's say I'm a product leader in delivery, then definitely I would be interested in candidates having a prior domain knowledge of the entire logistic industry. So it's a pretty good skill to have.
Thank you for that, Sahil. Ankan, do let us know if you have any further queries. So there is one more question from the audience, that how important is behavioral economics for a product manager? It's quite an interesting one.
It's a great question. So, so my thoughts here are that again, it depends upon the nature of product you are working upon, the organization in which you are working upon, right? If you are working on I would say a product which encompasses or leverages upon social networks, then definitely it's very important skill to have understanding of behavioral economics, how the whole network effects works. And I think just now a great book has been launched. The name of the book is Cold Start Problem. I will advise you guys also to read that book. But again, if you are a product manager who is working on some kind of an internal tool or towards some kind of financial product, I guess you won't be using the concept of behavioral economics to that extent as compared to a product manager who is a product manager for, let's say, TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Shorts. So yeah, again, it depends upon context.
Very well explained, Sahil. Thank you for that. Folks, we'd request you to type in your questions if there are any. Meanwhile, Anmol, would you like to give a quick basic introduction about PG program in management and analytics to the audience, to all the people who have not visited our website yet? Would you like to share something?
Yes, hi. Good evening, everyone, first of all. And sure, Prerna. So, I would say that if I talk about this program, our course is basically a 6 months duration program, which is an experiential and an outcome-driven course. And it's specifically designed for the working professionals who are looking to either transition themselves or upskill themselves in product management. Now, having said that, I would also like to add here in that the intent of this program is to actually help the learners, understand that what exactly the entire product management concept is all about, right? So in this course, we basically start right from the inception of the product idea to product delivery. And then that is also something that we cover up theoretically and practically, right? So I think program is designed for somebody who really wants to have a great clarity that how it would really be like to work as a product manager. And also, right, for the people who are absolutely new to this space, who are looking at complete transitions, right, with this, if they get into it, it will be something which will give them a lot of experience, right, in order to understand that how things really work from the industry point of view.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Anmol.
Yeah.
I do not see any further questions from the audience, so I believe then that's it. Maybe we can wrap up this session. So first of all, a quick important announcement for all the participants. If you are at all looking to enroll in PGP Product Management Analytics, then I would like to highlight that our final round of admissions is closing on 28th of December. That is next Tuesday. So we would urge you to fill in the application form and talk to our learning consultants and further complete your enrollment process. There are also exciting scholarships running on that we are exclusively offering basis on the profiles of the candidates. So I think, Anmol, there is one more question from the audience that you might be able to address better. So
Yes, please.
Ashwin has asked that, can you please throw some light on job assistance through this program?
Right. So see, the answer to that will be that we provide the assistance in 3 phases, right? The first part of it is that for every learner who happens to join in the course, we initially arrange one-on-one career counseling sessions for them, which happens basically with an industry expert. And these industry experts will help the learners to firstly build up their resume. The second would be that they help you to prepare for the interview as well with the help of mock interviews. And then at last, once you're done with this, once you're all set, that is when you're given the access to our GL Accelerate platform, where we share the exclusive job opportunities related to product management. I think.
Thank you, Anmol. Ashwin, do let us know if that. Yeah. You were saying something, Anmol?
No, I think that will be all. Yeah.
Ashwin, do let us know if that addresses your query or if you have any further questions. So I think that's about it. So Sahil, first of all, thank you so much once again. It was really interesting, interacting with you. This was quite an insightful session.
Thank you, Prerna. Thank you for inviting me. I really enjoyed our discussion as well as basically solving the queries of aspiring product managers. Thank you so much.
Perfect. And thank you once again, everyone, for joining us today. We hope to see some of you in our upcoming batches, and we wish you a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year in advance. Please stay safe and stay healthy, everyone. Good night, everybody.